let's get the show on the road. Testing. I wasn't even using the mic. All right, testing. Let's see. Cool, cool, cool. Everything looks solid right here. All righty, let's get the show on the road. Today we got a very, 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 very special guest. I'm very excited as always. Just to give you guys some to set the foundation up for this one. Uh, Her name is Brandi Carlos. She's actually a very entrepreneur. She's a powerful Latina. She's a mental health advocate. She's in tech. I'm super excited. I connected with her on Twitter. I like what she's talked about. I like what she tweets about. And then kind of just to, you know, this one kind of is very personal to me because sometimes we grow up, especially in the Latino culture. Sometimes when we talk about mental health, it could be kind of condescending from either our parents, our grandparents, brother, sister, uncle, whoever, right? Your tia. And I kind of wanted to get some clarity on how to take some steps, advice for myself, but also for other people in my position. Not saying that I can't, I don't know how to reach out to get mental health advice or anything like that. It's more like the culture stigma behind it. I couldn't think of anyone better to talk to about this, and yeah, so I'm excited for this one. I'm very excited. I'm gonna go ahead and get her in here. Let's check it out right here. Hope everyone's ready for some Christmas festivities. Alrighty now. So now we'll just wait for her. But yeah, just wanted to get that out there, get the foundation set, and yeah, let's learn a little bit about mental health and how people of color can get that accessibility and advice from someone who's actually built a company around this and focuses on that. Yeah, while we wait. All right, awesome. I said another thing. She said, "Cool, one sec." Yeah, Christmas is a little different this year. I was actually talking to my mom the other day how I kind of got my spirit back because my daughter, and it's really nice to do some festivities around that. I did lose my Christmas spirit, my holiday spirit actually, years ago. Maybe because I don't know actually. I told my mom because maybe because I was just so focused on working and grinding, and sometimes it was hard to kind of stop that momentum. But yeah, I'm glad that now that I have a almost a 2 year old that I'm able to spark that back up. But it is kind of sad because this year is a little different, obviously, for obvious reasons. But I mean, it's it's more than a blessing to be alive and making sure that we still have that family time with people. So yeah, just waiting for her to get in here. It's been a really busy week at Learn too. It's been pretty crazy. Lots of moving parts. If you guys haven't checked it out too, I do a bunch of design work on YouTube. I kind of showcase how I design most of Learn and any tasks that I get assigned, and my whole process on designing all that. Um, it's on there as well. Let's see. Mm-mm. I'm getting some weird feedback on my headphones. Not sure why. Okay. All right. Let's see. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see. I really like Twitter because you get to meet super cool people, and like, it's a really cool platform because people share a lot of their thoughts and stuff and their insight on different ideas and trending topics and things like that. And it's super cool when you connect with people you can relate to and also learn from. Obviously, I'm a big advocate for self learning and being an autodidact and learning on your own, but also, learning from the right people and building that judgment and awareness. Cool. All right. Looks like where she's in. Hmm. Uh-oh, I think we're running into some issues. Let's see. It says she popped in. Maybe I hit cancel on accident. Hmm. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Actually, let me set this up. Let's see. It popped in. She popped in, but I don't know. Maybe it was my mistake. I don't know if I put admit or not, but hopefully she comes back in. Maybe that was on my end. We'll find out. We'll find out. Oh, yeah, it was on my side. I am so sorry, Brandi. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Just there we go. There we go. And she's here. Hey, Brandi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you.
I am so sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. Let's see.
All right, give me 1 second. I'm recording already.
Okay.
Awesome. And we're live. I was kind of setting the foundation up for people who are gonna tune in and stuff like that. But I'm so sorry about that. I barely saw your message about the meeting ID and password.
Oh, it's
And
okay.
I was like, you know what? I did send it through Twitter. She's probably using Twitter on her phone. And I didn't forget. I forgot to do the calendar. But how are you? Thank you for being here.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing super good. I'm doing super good. It's getting cold, so it's my favorite type of weather. I'm doing good.
Yeah, it's like all the good food and drinks weather.
Right? I'm a coffee drinker. Do you like coffee?
Here and there. My first job was Starbucks, so
Mm.
I know a lot about coffee.
Oh,
But I'm
okay.
definitely more of a tea person.
Okay. Okay. All right. Maybe you got to put me on some tea because I'm not so much of a tea drinker. My mom is, but I
Mm,
like caffeine. That's a thing. So it's like I know green tea, black teas, but
yeah.
sometimes that's why I just coffee is my go-to. But where are you located? Where are you from?
I'm in Boyle Heights.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. So yeah, just to like I said, we're recording already, and I like to keep things short and sweet. So around 15-20 minutes. I want to get to know who you are. Obviously, share what you do. I know a little bit about you based on your social media, specifically Twitter. Really like what you're doing. I know you're very entrepreneurial. You're for the LatinX community, so I'm super excited about that. But yeah, to get it started, just if you could just introduce yourself, what you do, and who you are.
Yeah, so my name is Brandi Carlos. I'm based in Boyle Heights, and I was born and raised in East LA. I'm the founder of Therapy for Latinx. So we are the first national directory for the Latinx community to be able to
Awesome.
find therapists and
Mhm.
resources. And I love business stuff. So I have a
Awesome.
business, I have a tax business, a photo booth business, and digital marketing.
Okay. All right. So you're actually across the board a lot. You different industries. I really like that, and I really like the fact that a company like Therapy for Latinx is available. For people like me, obviously being Latino, Mexican descent. Um, it's very helpful, right? Because that's something I
Yeah.
want to talk to you about, and that's gonna be one of my first questions. Is kind of like the whole stigma between Latino culture. At least on my end, what I've experienced when it comes down to mental health, sometimes it can
Yeah.
be really stigmatized within our cultures. And that being said, I want to ask you this: what is something you kind of realized, or that you could advise to someone from Latino descent when suppose they are going through some mental health issues, right? But
Mhm.
they talk to their parents, their dad, their tia, their mom or primo or whatever, and they get kind of stigmatized, like, you're just being soft, or you don't understand, you don't just you're just sad, just get over it, take a nap, whatever. What is something that you could advise someone who actually is suffering from mental health issue and is getting that from family?
Yeah, I would say, build community, and that could be your friends or online, being on even Instagram. I know I've
Mhm,
been able to connect with people that think like me and have very similar experiences,
mhm,
but finding that support is really important because if you're already, dealing with depression or like difficult mental health challenges, and then you have your family not understanding, it could leave you feeling really isolated.
mhm, mhm. I know, and I'm not sure if you've experienced something like that. The reason I wanted to ask that question was because I really want to know what the driving force behind therapy for LatinX was, and like your whole mission and like, your vision with that. And I was kind of being a little bit more personalized on my end, like, oh, this would be actually something I'd create myself. Obviously, if I would have invested or invest in it, because that's something I experienced where you kind of get stigmatized like that. But what I'll ask you, what was kind of like the driving force or your vision with building therapy for LatinX?
Yeah. So about 2 years ago, I lost one of my best friends to
Mm,
suicide.
very sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Very sorry to hear.
And, it was really tough for me. I didn't
Definitely.
have anyone I could really turn to for support.
Mm,
And, I was really struggling with it. So
yeah, yeah.
I went online, and in my group chat I'm kind of like that FBI person, right? Like I can find anything online, but when I really needed it, I couldn't find a Latina therapist.
Mm,
At least that wasn't like near me. And of course we're talking pre-coronavirus, right? Where
correct.
like you had in-person therapy, and so that was really important to me, and I couldn't find that. So when I was going down the rabbit hole, I did come across Therapy for Black Girls, which was the very first directory for
Mm-hmm,
anyone that was like Black, Indigenous, or person of color.
mm-hmm,
And I was so inspired. I was like, okay, if this exists for the Black community, maybe there's something like this for us. And when I looked,
mm,
nothing existed,
mm-hmm,
and so my web designer brain was like, let's check if the URL is available. And when I saw that it was, it felt like, okay, this assignment is yours.
mm. Love it.
So I started building it out, and I didn't know any therapists at the time. I just said, okay, I'm going to build this out and let's see where it goes.
Mm-hmm,
I just wanted to make sure that if anyone else was in a difficult situation, that they had resources,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and it kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, once again, I'm very sorry to hear that, losing a close friend like that and not being or having access to someone to talk to about it, right? That's not a family member or a professional, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very sorry to hear that. And I'm also very
Yep.
uh, proud of you for actually taking the initiative, and doing your due diligence, doing your research. Like, hey, this is needed for me. Maybe there's other people like me that need this, that look like me. And you went ahead. That's super cool that what you said, you looked at the URL, and that was kind of like your confirmation that there was nothing out for this. And then
Yeah.
you created it. Now, a different type of question, like, how, I know you mentioned web design. How did you get that technical experience on that side? What was like the process of actually building it out? I'm not sure if you have a team or not, and how you actually run it right now, because I did land on the site, and hosting a directory could be a little tough if you don't have any technical experience in terms of how a web page should act, right? So how was that process? Like, actually, first you discover the issue, I'm going to build a
Yeah.
solution, and then how did you go on to build it?
Yeah. So right now the site is on its third version. The
Mhm.
first two were hosted on WordPress,
Mhm.
and I kept having issues. I haven't found a directory solution on WordPress that makes sense.
Okay.
So I finally found some software that worked out, and it's been pretty seamless ever since.
Mhm.
But I'm self-taught with like WordPress and coding.
Mhm.
Like I learned coding, honestly, the first time was like I wanted to add glitter to my MySpace profile.
Yeah,
Like,
I love it.
yeah,
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, that's kind of where it
That was your
started.
first
That was the
experience.
seed. Yeah.
Oh man, I love that. It brought back memories right there. Everyone was a low key a coder in the MySpace days. You know, you had to make your profile look popping. You know, um,
Yeah.
no, that's incredible. That's really cool because you've. I mean, it's clear aside from what you just said right now, like the technical and now actually building the thing. There's a underlying message that I take away is that the fact that you took action, and not a lot of people take the action. You could have done the whole research and be like, okay, well, there's nothing like this, but maybe I'm not the one to build it. But you right away, this assignment is mine. I'm going to
Yeah.
build it. You said, ran into some issues specifically with some plugins and a software that could run that, but you're not stopping. And now my next question, a more operational question, is how do you source the actual therapist? And I know you mentioned you actually didn't know any therapists beforehand. How do you source them, and how do you ask them to be on your platform to offer these services for us, things like that?
Yeah. So initially, I just kind of shared, hey, I made this website on my Facebook page, and then it kind of snowballed. So I had like my first 100 therapists sign up,
Wow.
and it was all through word of mouth and social media.
Wow.
And yeah, it kind of has kept, that route.
Hmm.
I would say the only thing I do to try to find more is like on LinkedIn, I add therapists every day. I send them a friend
Mm.
request, or sometimes I'll get requests or like, hey, there's no therapist listed in my city.
Hmm.
Can you find some for me? So then, I'll go online and
Hmm.
try to find some therapists, because the other thing is like, to me, values are really important,
Most definitely.
right? And
Hmm.
just identifying as a Latinx person doesn't necessarily mean like we're on the same wavelength, right?
Correct.
So I definitely try to find therapists that you know are Latinx, but also have community centered values.
Hmm. No, yeah, that's great. Are you a one woman team? Are you running in terms of this?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's respeto right there. I respect that. And being a solopreneur on this end, I'm not sure if you actually do you have teams on other ends of your business models and different you're just a
Oh,
one
for
woman.
my other businesses, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah.
specifically for therapy for LatinX, you're a one woman team.
Yeah, right now
Wow.
I'm looking to expand. I'm
Love it.
looking at a few solutions.
Okay.
It just feels a little bit tough because it's such a sensitive subject that you can't
Yeah.
really just hand it over to anyone. So,
No, yeah, it's something in terms of how I could relate to that is, building I am one of the co-founders of this new ed tech company that we're building. And sometimes it's hard to it's like a baby. It's like you're giving okay, you get to babysit, but it's like, no, it's still a newborn. Like, this is my baby. I don't want to share them just yet. So I totally
yeah.
understand. I totally understand that. Now I want to get maybe like a practical tip from you in terms of being a one woman team. Like, what's something you can advise someone, to a young Latina maybe going to listen to this or watch this, wanting to start a venture or capitalize on an idea that they've been having? What's something you could let them know? Like, you could do this on your own until you find the right team. But what's one tip you
Yeah.
could give to someone that will give them that extra push?
Yeah, I would say write down the three things that
Hmm.
are going to get you paid.
Mm.
The reason
Oh, I
I
love
say
that.
that is because eventually you're going to have to scale, right? And even
Hmm.
if you get a VA from like the Philippines or Guatemala,
Hmm.
you need capital to be able to do that. So I would figure out like what are the things that are going to get me paid, and then kind of go from there. Other than that, finding like automation tools like Zapier,
Hmm.
having your email sequences or batching out content for social media, stuff
Correct.
like that really helps.
Awesome. No, yeah, that's very true. I think that's very useful, obviously, because you need to have some sort of a plan. It might change along the way, but I think three things is fair. to get you paid, and what you can offer as a service.
Yeah.
Now, I have, before, like I said, I like to keep things short and sweet, and make sure people are actually have enough time to digest this piece of or this podcast, right? I'm curious to know, did you grow up around business, or do you have any siblings or family members that actually grew up in this business, or how did you get that entrepreneurial bug? How did you get bit by that bug?
You know what? I think I was raised by my grandmother and I
Mm,
always saw her working. She worked at a factory when
okay.
I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I just always felt from a really young age, I was like, God, I wish she didn't have to work at a factory, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think I always joke that my first business was selling Mexican candy at school.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we would go to, yeah, we'd go to like Tijuana to the dentist. I would buy candy and like, come back to school and sell it. Um,
I love that.
yeah, that evolved into like Pokemon later on. Like it was just,
Mm.
always something.
You've been in various different industries, and you know how to sell. I love that. That's really cool. And it's one thing I've noticed with talking to other people is that they always refer to someone who's worked in a blue collar job, right? Where
Yeah,
they've taken that skill, like, and you can't, we can't lie. Our parents who have worked in the fields or a factory, or a blue collar job, they bust their ass, right? And
yeah,
we could apply that somewhere else, because I know you probably understand, we're privileged to have things like this internet, right? And leverage that. Like you said, you leverage WordPress. We're leveraging Zoom right now to talk to each other during really weird times, right? So I
yeah,
really like the fact that you could refer back to someone who was in a completely different industry, but still take those tools and skills to apply them somewhere else. So that's amazing. So yeah, before right now, before I let you go, I really appreciate your time, and I really feel that you're a very great example for not only Latinos in general and Latinx, but young Latinas specifically, and people that look like us and maybe don't know how to start what they want to do. So where can people find you, and how can people connect with you? Where's the best place to do that?
thank you. Right now I've been a little low key on
Oh,
social
okay.
media. I would
Mhm.
say like my most used platform is Twitter.
Okay.
Um,
Awesome.
and other than that, I do post regularly on the Therapy for Latinx account. So it's just Therapy for Latinx on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Perfect. Perfect, Brandi. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being super receptive to this.
Yeah.
And I know I follow you on Twitter. I found you on Instagram. So I'm there. And then we'll stay connected. It won't be the last time we talk. I really am excited to see your growth, how you scale this, um, and any other endeavor that you throw yourself into. I know you'll succeed.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, Brandi. Take care, okay?
Bye.
Bye. All right, that was amazing. I really, the beauty about this is that we talk to people who once literally didn't know how to start, and then they just dive in. And I think that's like the main message I took away from this, is because whether you're coding, whether you're starting a platform for therapy and not knowing, okay, like I need this, not knowing if the market needs this, doing your due diligence and research, building it on a word host or a host like WordPress, still getting those barriers of not having the right solution, but you're still chipping away at it. And for her to be the number one directory for Latin therapists is amazing. Not only will this be directed to Latinos, I think this is directed to anyone that has that entrepreneurial bug in them and is focused on finding a solution that others might be needing. So I I really loved that one. That was really amazing. She's super powerful. Um, I highly recommend, if you guys have a Twitter, to follow her on Twitter. Her at name is Brandi Carlos. She is amazing. I've been following her for such a short amount of time, but she shares great stuff. You can tell she's hungry. This was good. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you guys do, please don't forget to at least subscribe or leave a comment. I won't be too pushy about it, but just if you really find a value, just comment something that you like or anything that you would like to know. Maybe I could get her on the show again. But yeah, guys, on that note, yeah, just keep killing it. Listen to that one. Take your notes. She has some really good practical things, especially if you want to start something as a solopreneur. I think it could be very uneasy starting off and not knowing where to start. But she shared that you should write 3 things down that will start making you money. So, all right, guys. On that note, see you guys later.